Anthony Slater, R95 7-game insider.
Kind of like a mashed potatoes guy.
He is a mashed potatoes guy. Do they have? Oh, he's in Philadelphia. He could go to Reading Terminal.
Reading Terminal is off the
He
hook.
could go get some gumbo. Yeah. Dude, he got everything. It's Kabibbles, a nice little cheesesteak. Anthony Slater, courtesy of the Boxer Girls and Guest Line.
What was the lobster place we went to?
Oh, that was in the cut.
That was in the cut.
That was a little spot. Yeah, that was a little off to the side on Broad Street.
That was a good spot.
Anthony Slater, what are you doing in Philadelphia right now, my man? Did you stay in New York an extra day? Give us some travel itinerary since that seems to be a popular thing on the internet.
Number one, I had to come down to Philly yesterday afternoon on train because they practiced in Philadelphia at the Palestra on Penn's campus. So I had to go to that, number one. Number two, I'm a Todd Monken guy. I'm not just a mashed potatoes guy. I covered Todd Monken at Oklahoma State. So,
look at you.
Don't go too hard at Todd. I like Todd.
I do like Todd, too.
Speaking of going hard.
So, hold on.
No. I was going to transition.
No, not yet. The food. What are you doing in Philadelphia? Where do you eat in Philly? You've been there over and over.
So, I always try to do like a cheesesteak here. I got this spot in downtown I went to yesterday, Cleaver's, but I'm also going to be honest with y'all. It's been about a week on the road. I might go get a salad after this.
Oh, yeah. Smart. It's good for the bowel system.
Wait, Brooklyn, Atlanta, Memphis. Oh, yeah, those are some good.
You can get some food in Memphis, but it's not healthy. Let me tell you. That was a rough start.
And you get the lemon pepperloos in Atlanta.
All right, let's get into the hard-hitting stuff. Okay?
Sorry, Anthony.
You are in the locker room. Klay Thompson doesn't finish the game. You're in the locker room. Now, I've got multiple questions baked into this one question, okay, which I don't like to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. Draymond is talking off to the side. We have the audio that we'll play it, but it doesn't sound great. It's tough to tell. Draymond says something like, I didn't close in Boston before you can even ask the question to Klay Thompson. How did you interpret, before we get to Klay and Klay's feelings, how did you interpret Draymond Green jumping over the top and kind of insinuating that closing isn't that big of a deal? Was that a dig at Klay, at you, at the question?
No, it was at me, number one. Okay, like, they know that's a story, right, when we walk in the room? Like, that's Guy Santos close over Klay Thompson. Everybody knows. Us wolves in the media are very interested in that. Draymond Green isn't around at this point. He's clearly, we find out later, I guess, in the shower, because the shower is maybe like 2 lockers over. It's kind of like the shower area. I asked Klay, hey, can I get you for a couple minutes? And, the other reporters kind of fall over because, again, it's a big story. And he's like, yeah, sure, I'm an open book, is what he said. And then we start talking, and Draymond comes out of the shower and sees, because Draymond's locker's 2 down from Klay. He sees we have crowded Klay Thompson. He is the leader in the locker room, remains the vocal leader in the locker room, as you guys can imagine. And I think he's trying to ease the tension that he believes is kind of surrounding Klay Thompson at the time, and also make a point, like, it's not that big a deal that Klay Thompson didn't close tonight, even though we obviously think it is. So he says what he says to me, by the way, and you can hear in the audio, maybe you can. I mean, like you said, it's not the greatest, but, that we're must be asking about that. He closed and gave 5, whatever. And you can hear me say, well, I haven't asked about it yet, but I'm about to. So I then asked about it, but it was in no way a dig at Klay Thompson. It was trying to downplay that as a storyline and basically try to lower the temperature of the situation, which, in some ways it probably upped it.
Interesting there. So Klay, obviously visibly frustrated. He's shooting 35% over his last 8 games. The 3-point percentage is a lot worse. He's a streaky player, a very streaky player. But to see him visibly, like a lot of fans, they feel for him. Or some fans just say, yo, bitch this guy, trade this guy. What happens going down? Like, does this have any long-term ramifications in terms of re-signing with the Golden State Warriors this offseason?
No, not really. I mean, this is like the 4th time it's happened this year. He actually did one of these interviews in Phoenix because he got benched the night in Phoenix that Draymond committed the flagrant foul.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Nobody really seemed to want to talk about it the next day because there was other things to talk about with the Warriors because another of their franchise legends was in some hot water. But, this is like the 4th time. He's coming to grips with it. He's trying to figure out what type of player he is. I have no indication he won't be here past Thursday. The negotiations are going to be tricky this summer. They were tricky last summer, right? I mean, they didn't come to grips on what could have been an extension, before the season. But how does this impact that? I mean, honestly, like, depending on how the last couple of months goes, like, he's probably lowered his value. Like, he has career low in field goal percentage, career low in 3-point percentage. He's still a valuable player that teams will be interested in, but I don't think it's the price tag that maybe he expected or wanted or even would have got last summer.
What do you think that price tag is?
Oh, the price tags in the NBA now are just going crazy because the numbers are going crazy. But, I still think it's probably in the 20s range, and that might sound like a ton to people. But it's, first of all, it would be lowered from 43, which is the big thing. But also, like, 20 is almost like a little bit above the mid-level at this point in the NBA,
Interesting. Go ahead, Saskia, get in here.
No, it's just you're I guess insinuating about the trade deadline. Are they going to make a move here? Because here's where I'm at, right? And before you answer the question, I swear to God, if CP3 comes back and GP2 comes back and Kuminga's minutes get lowered as a byproduct of that, my head will explode. This team is not a championship team. I get it. It's a Steph Curry year in the prime. You don't want to waste it. Kuminga's development is one of the big revelations of this year. And so if anyone returns, dips into that playing time, to me, it's like, what are we doing here?
Well, look, 39 minutes might become 32, but Jonathan Kuminga, at least in my opinion, and being around the team, I don't think will ever be an 18-minute, 15-minute per game player for them anymore. And that's kind of more what you're talking about, right? He slides down into like 8th in the pecking order. At this point, I think he's kind of like 3rd in the pecking order. And beyond that, minute-wise, and I've talked to, some of the people around the team, they're loving the ability to play him, 12 straight minutes and 30, like high 30s if they need to. Like, they love the youth. And I agree with you. And honestly, I think they're to the point that the coaching staff agrees with you. And I know, the decision makers up top agree that, like, Jonathan Kuminga is now high on the pecking order and nobody returning will impact that much. That's not to say there might not be a night or two where I come on the radio with you guys a month from now and, like, Chris Paul closed over him on one particular game and you're upset about it. But I would say bigger scope, like, Kuminga is a massive part of the future, and that's been decided.
Yeah, no doubt. What about Moody? As we're talking to Anthony Slater here at the Boxer Girls and Guest Line on the Morning Roast, he's live in Philadelphia. As the Warriors can clinch a road winning streak or a road stand. I guess you could call it a road stand here. The winning road trip here. If they win tonight, it could be improved to 3-1. Moody, where's he at? Because it feels like he's lost in the sauce.
Well, I mean, he was injured. He screwed his calf up. I talked to him the other night, like that. It happened in game. He kind of knew it that night. He ended up missing 3 weeks or so. He just came back, and honestly, like, if he was in a groove, it probably would have been him instead of Guy Santos to close. But it was just his first game back from a calf injury. I know that there's a desire from Warriors people to see him more over the last couple months to up his minutes, and now that Steve Kerr is very much more comfortable, clearly, like, lowering Klay Thompson's minutes on given nights, I do think you'll see a little bit of more Moody, but probably still not enough to appease a lot of people.
Is there a trade going to happen?
Well, I mean, like, any trade at all?
Any trade.
Anything. Yeah,
there's
anything.
Rumors with Wiggins. How valid are those rumors?
Let me start here. I think there's a chance, like, a Corey Joseph gets traded into space, like, that saves money. I think Kevon Looney's contract is, vulnerable, just considering what it is, and we're probably talking more tax savings or minor deals here. Wiggins is the bigger name that I think is at least in discussion. But and Brian Windhorst said it yesterday, and everything I've heard kind of backs this up. But it's just like the deals on the table potentially for Wiggins just are not that appealing. I'm not sure they help this Warriors team now or in the future more than just leaving Andrew Wiggins in the closing lineup, which he currently is, and on the books until the summer, where you can maybe re-explore it. Maybe he rehabs some of his value.
So where's this team going? This team got to run it up because it feels like they need to go on over a 17-game stretch, 13-4 or 12-5. Does this team, healthy, have that type of run in them to get back into the play-in phase of the Western Conference, or maybe even the top 6?
Yeah, and play-in, I think, is where they are probably going. Look, Houston is hit a real slide. The Warriors are actually ahead of Houston now. I think Utah, and you might, well, we're just trying to climb a ladder here. Like,
it's an inside joke on the show. Sorry, my bad. It wasn't a dig at you.
No. But Utah, I think, is going to slide past them. The Lakers, Mavericks, I think, are vulnerable. But to be honest, like, I don't think they can get up to 6. So then you're talking about trying to play your way in through the play-in. and maybe get like a Minnesota in the first round and like try to cause some trouble. But to your grander question, like where are they going? Not to the championship. But I don't think there's something that can happen in the next 24 hours that would make you go, here they come. So,
all right. Who's winning Sunday? Chiefs Niners.
Is football still going on? There's a game this weekend?
Well, your Dolphins got eliminated 3 weeks ago.
Well, I thought
I get it.
Well, no, I thought, Anthony, you're going to fly from Chase Center Saturday to Las Vegas for Sunday's game and then fly to Utah Monday morning.
Oh, somebody did say something about a Super Bowl party. I forgot. Yeah, I'll be doing that Sunday. Who's going to win? You don't want me to answer that. You're listening.
All right. Yeah, we're going to hang up.
Well, it's certainly not going to be Tua.
well, I guess the better question is,
with you on that one.
The better question is, will Bonte and Shasky be sat when they're talking to you next Wednesday before the Clippers game?
Will they be sober by halftime?
I don't drink.
We'll be in the. We got Shasky go to the press box, Slater. Can you give him real quick before we let you go? Give us some press box etiquette. Give us some press box etiquette, Anthony, because he doesn't listen to me.
First of all, I don't want to give him any press box etiquette. I want to see you get your phone out and videotape because I'm more interested in him in the press box Sunday than the actual game. So
with the jersey on.
The etiquette. Again, I'm not going to give him any suggestions.
Anthony, as a big J journalist myself, let me tell you, I do what I want, like Cartman.
One thing I will say, I've never covered a Super Bowl, so maybe I'm speaking a little out of turn, but that does seem like the type of event in press box that is a little different than your normal,
right. It's like an NBA
big J journalist.
It's like an NBA All-Star game. You covered All-Star games where you get the big you get people from China. They're wearing Lakers beanies, Bulls jerseys. I mean, it's a who's who. I'm telling you, Shasky.
Well, I said to the boss, when I now backed off. I'm like, Barstool wears whatever they want, and he's like, well, we're not Barstool, and I'm like, you're right, I get it, but I'm me, I'm a unicorn.
Have a good salad, Anthony. Have a good salad today.
I need to. I'll see y'all.
Yep. Say hi to Kate
light
for
on
us.
the dressing.
Yeah, light on the dressing. And say hi to Kate Scott for us. Make sure you say hi to Kate Scott. Anthony Slater,
He's
on 95.7 The Game Insider.